most of the South Asian countries, like if you're darker, you're looked down upon. Like there's a big colorism shit going on there. Like it's a real thing.
I wouldn't say all South Asian countries.
You know what I'm mostly.
Yeah.
But I was a young kid, 7 years old. I go to my cousin's house and there was my cousin's friend there, right? And she had this like little cream. Yeah. And she told me this, bro. She was looking dead in my eye and she's like, oh, this is a cream. It makes your skin go whiter. Makes your skin go whiter. That's what she said. And bro, I was young and I was like, you know, colorism was a big thing. So I didn't have much knowledge about this, right? So I was just like thinking, oh, I'll get lighter. That's how I was thinking.
I know exactly the cream you're talking about.
And no. That's what I thought. Hear the story. I chucked that bitch on my face, my hands, bro, like anywhere I could get, right? I put it on me. And she's like, oh, you have to wait a bit. Bro, I'm there waiting like 15 minutes. And they started laughing at this point, right? Like they're laughing and shit. I was a young kid, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just thinking, oh, it takes a while. Then my cousin realized, like, okay, this has gone too far. He came up to me. He's like, bro, that's not a cream. She's fucking with you. It was PVA glue. Yeah. So it was PVA glue and I put it on. But what I'm saying is, as a young kid, I did that.
That hurt my heart.
Oh, no, I'm fine. Because I think the fact that I was really young is what helped me. Like, I didn't really think about this at all until later on. I thought about it and I'm like, that was kind of fucked up.
That's really fucked up.
That is fucked up.
Stop, that's really fucked up.
Yeah, it is. But I don't deep it like that. Let's move on from my traumatic experience. I laugh about it.
I grew up hating my skin color. And because my sister, she's mixed race.
Yeah.
So she's half white. And this is so pathetic, bro. I can't believe I'm about to admit this. But I go around in school, yeah, especially in primary school, I'd be like, I was almost mixed race, you know. Because obviously my dad didn't break up with my mum. Could have been me.
It could have been you. That's crazy.
And that's because I grew up hating my skin color. The fact that I was so dark. And my uncle would always say it. Every time I go to greet him, he's like, have you gotten darker?
Nah.
It's not funny. But I can ask, have you gone darker? What do you mean? Brother, are you trying to violate me?
I think we need to unpack this.
With the family members starting to set that boundary with words are so powerful. The external voice starts to become the internal. That's why a lot of people are hypocritical of themselves, because they've always had people being hypocritical of them.
That's so true. My uncle, he just hated me. He'd always say that. But the one thing he'd always say is, you're so dark. What woman's going to like you?
That young, you were saying that.
That's crazy. When I was growing up, he'd just be like, you're dark. So I grew up hating my skin color. Because if you deep it, whenever we're out, I always say, no, man, can we take the picture in the light?
Yeah. Can we have more light? I know this, yeah.
That's mad,
this is trauma. And you're putting it on to all of us.
You don't mind
to do with it. Hey, don't try to take pictures. Please, God, make you take 100 pictures. Because it's just not, wow, it's trauma.
It's trauma.
It's good. Now I understand. I'm going to be a bit more empathetic. I get frustrated.
Colorism, a lot of minority communities, the lighter skin you are, there is preferential treatment. But in the context of Asia, our countries are the ones that are obsessed with whitening our skin. Not just if you were born lighter skin, you're treated better. We have crazy amounts of beauty products that are meant to like physically color your skin whiter. There's this like really big obsession around being as white in color as you can, but like predates European settlement. It largely comes from the classist divide, where you poor and working out in the fields and therefore tanned and dark, or were you richer and higher society and able to stay indoors without having to do manual labor and therefore very light-skinned and pale. Modern day Asians, they'll wear long sleeves even in like 95-degree weather.
Yes.
They'll carry umbrellas
Yes.
and like all this crazy shit to avoid being tanned.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about racism, what it is and why it still exists. And a disclaimer, this video is for education purposes and discussion purposes only. Let's jump into it.
Okay, this is a very different video format to what I do, but I just want to talk about colorism in Southeast Asia. So if you guys don't know, I'm from Myanmar, Burma, and whenever I go back to my country, I always get told that, oh my god, like, you're so beautiful, but you're brown. And we have this phrase, it's called a new chore, and I feel like low-key is very backhanded, and some people might not realize that. And growing up, like as a child, I always thought that being paler was better. And it doesn't help that my mom, she is half Chinese, so she's so pale. And my dad is half Indian and he's so drastically darker. And even during like school events, because of racism, I will always bring my mom, and I felt bad to say this towards my dad, but I always didn't want him to come, and I felt so bad as an adult. And even within my own country, our Miss Universe elected this year, I'm sure she's a beautiful person. She's literally half white. She got picked over a fully Burmese person. And I just feel like people just worship like skin that is lighter so much that is actually bad, to the point where they like don't like their actual skin tone. So many influencers, especially Burmese influencers, they use whitening filters or a foundation that don't even match their skin tone, and you see them in real life and you can clearly see the white cast on their face because the skin, the shade of the foundation doesn't match their skin. And even me growing up, I grew up in Singapore, but most of my peers were Chinese. Obviously, they were much lighter skin tone than me. Me and my friend, we grew up with kojic acid soap, which basically makes your skin brighter. I don't know if that works or not. And eating glutathione tablets to make your skin lighter at 13 to 15. And my mom was so upset, like, 'cause she's like, your skin is beautiful. Like, she didn't understand why I wanted to be a different skin tone. But in my head, because racism is so like ingrained to children in Southeast Asia since young, I just wanted to fit in. Also, I feel like I'm so confident now that I'm in Australia, where it's so like multicultural and actually more diverse. In terms of like the people you meet and stuff like that, like I finally feel like 100% comfortable like embracing my own natural features, which is just so harsh, like because I couldn't do that in my own country because everyone will point out that I'm brown, which I don't think I am. I think I'm actually paler than majority of the Burmese people, which isn't that so weird? Like people consume like media so much that they think the standard is to be like super pale. That's not in our genetics. I do, however, think it is getting better with the younger generation though, but I feel like to actually change how people actually see themselves, I feel like we definitely need darker skin representation, especially in Southeast Asian media. Okay, that's all. That was just a think piece. Bye.
The Indians have a very shitty beauty standards. You know, my mom is very colorist for sure. China is even worse than us on colorism, to be honest. To be honest. You know how I know this? My mom will send me pictures of women to marry. And if they're dark skinned, they have the perfect face, completely symmetrical. The light skinned women she sends me, one eye missing.
Oh my God.
Teeth gone. But she's like, oh, look, the fairness.
I love this.
Because it means so much, yeah.
It means so much. I totally agree. In Chinese, there's sayings like 一白遮三丑. Is that if you are fair-skinned, you can be much more uglier than the girl with darker skin. You can still turn out prettier than all of them.
That's what it is. It's that fair skin is like Hail Mary at the, just the fucking, you can't lose.
Only one eye is missing?
Yeah, only one eye. Whoa.
We have a winner.
Okay, this is my part 2 talking about colorism in Khmer society and just how messy and contradictory it is, which ironically allowed me to learn to love my skin more no matter what. So we already know white or lighter skin is the Asian beauty standard. But specifically in Khmer Cambodian society, something I've noticed since living here is while people think Kon Khmer Kat Jen or Kat Barang, whatever, are more beautiful, ironically there's such a huge anti-Chinese sentiment and also to a lesser extent anti-French sentiment for historical, political, even current economic reasons. So then on the flip side, there's this pride in being Khmer Sot or pure Khmer, as I talked about in my last video. And I talk about this because I hear this in daily conversation. Like people will openly make fun of Gonkat, like mixed Khmer kids, and basically be like, oh, they're not full Khmer. And then they'll be like, oh, you're like Khmer uncle, like our ancestors, you're so dark. Implying that they're less beautiful because they're so dark and that they should be lighter. Like people literally will say that they're so dark in a negative way, like they wish they weren't as dark. Or on the other hand, they'll see somebody with light skin and be like, oh, they're so beautiful, like their skin is so white. So you want people to have lighter skin and perhaps Western features, but then you want them to be pure Khmer and speak Khmer fluently and know everything about Khmer. Like it's not adding up. And then for me personally, I'm Khmer Gat Jen, like I am mixed or Chinese. So I have lighter skin, my features are different. A lot of people look at me, they don't think I'm Khmer right away, or at all, which is another whole thing. And then for me, growing up in the US, everybody wants darker skin. Especially for Cambodian Americans, a lot of us take pride in having darker skin. So I always loved how much darker I would get in the summertime or when I was out in the sun. And then coming here to Cambodia, everybody would compliment my whiter skin. And I was just like, it was really hard for me to grasp because I initially was like, this is just wrong. And then I realized, like, we shouldn't be wanting our skin color to be any other color than it already is. So this whole, like, mess about colorism in Cambodia and Khmer society made me realize, like, okay, this is my skin color. I love it. And if you have darker skin, love that. If you have lighter skin, love that. But stop trying to, use whitening creams. It's so bad for your skin. Stop trying to tan, especially not using sunscreen to look darker. That's also bad for your skin. And then stop making comments about people's skin color. Honestly, I feel like there's so much more that could be said about this topic, but this is a long video, so if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Also, wear sunscreen, not so that your skin doesn't get darker, but to protect your skin.
I mean, she's a beautiful girl, but if I'm being 100% authentic, I usually go for more of the light skin. I'm a dark brother, so, we got a baby. You got to balance out.
Now, I ain't gonna dog this brother out and call him Kool-Aid, because this don't surprise me. One of the biggest issues within the black community since the beginning of time has been the color of our skin. How can one of the biggest issues be the color of y'all skin, but that's what y'all be fighting about? White people, y'all ain't off the hook, because I take this back to the days where your ancestors had the more fair-skinned black people in the house. Which house I'm talking about? I ain't talking about the House of Representatives. Y'all know what house I'm talking about. You can say that that's just this brother's preference. I say it's self-hate. You can say that you love yourself, but if you don't want your child to be as dark as you are, that's got to be self-hate. But it ain't fully his fault. Within the black community, we deal with this all the time. You're either too light-skinned, you're too dark-skinned. This is why our strength in numbers ain't as strong as it should be. It's been a setup since the beginning of time. Now we sitting around having self-hate and loathing one another because of the color of our skin within our own community. If we came together and realized how beautiful all of these shades of black were, we could be so much more powerful. I hate when there's a really fair-skinned man out here doing the work, one of the biggest activists in the community, and you say that he ain't black enough to represent us. I hate when a woman is beautifully black chocolate. She ain't that cute. I've seen two black people have a baby, same shade of black, have a baby totally different color than what they are. I love every shade of black, from the lightest to black as my shirt. And I guarantee you, as a black person, until you love every shade of black, you will not fully love yourself.
The way people gaslight dark-skinned girls on the internet, dark-skinned women on the internet, is so insane. As if we didn't have a collective experience in high school, in college, of people really hating us, hating our features, hating our skin tone, hating our, I remember in college, and this was peak colorism era. On Twitter, people would talk about our private parts. People were talking about dark-skinned women's private parts on the internet. People want us to just forget about that. They just want us to just completely forget about that didn't happen. Recently, I saw people saying that we were playing victim, as if that era did not exist. I remember peak colorism. In college, I used to hang around these light-skinned girls, right? It was like a lot of them. And I, of course, all the black people are gonna, I think just automatically link up in general. And so it was maybe 5 light-skinned girls, one of me. And I never forget, one of the girls, she was about to fight another girl, one of her friends. So it was an outside friend. And I don't even remember what the fight was about or anything like that. All I remember is that I came to where they were about to fight because I was defending one of the girls, because one of the girls was my best friend at the time's sister. So I really wanted to defend her because, you're not about to fight her, especially if she's my best friend's sister. And the girl that she was about to fight was another light-skinned girl. And I never forget, she was like, "You're black as hell, you're ugly." Me and her started to get into it, and she started calling me black as hell, ugly, all of this stuff. But what really stood out to me in that exchange is that none of those light-skinned girls had my back. None of them said anything. None of them said a thing. And I was going to defend this girl because, to me, she was so sweet. She was so quiet. She never said anything. And she was also my best friend's sister. None of those girls said a thing to me when this other girl was calling me black as hell, ugly. Like, she couldn't say anything else. I guess that was the only thing that she was going to use was my color. It's interesting to see this discourse on the internet now. And I really think it's just like gaslighting dark-skinned women, but those things happen to us and nobody said a thing. Nobody said a thing. Like, I remember on Twitter, people would talk about like hashtag dark skin, or like, I remember one time it was a hashtag that was like, I'd rather be this than dark skin. Like, that is insane. That type of stuff stays with people. That stays in your psyche. Like, could you imagine getting on Twitter and just seeing people talk about your skin tone? This type of stuff was never addressed. It was never made right. We just collectively as a community just moved along. And I love the creators, especially the creators that have a lot of followers that are bringing light to stuff like this. And they're saying like, no, you know, this is colorism. Like, the black community still has a color.
I grew up not knowing I was supposed to hate myself. Let me explain. So I was having a conversation with someone before, and they are dark skinned. And I am also dark skinned. Sometimes I'm lighter, sometimes I'm darker. I was having a conversation, and I didn't get teased because of my dark skin. I didn't have a lot of people call me nicknames or like bad names because of my dark skin. I had never experienced that. And I remember somebody was telling me like, oh, you know, like when you grew up, you wish your hair was this way, or you wish you had lighter skin. And I was saying like, no, I never wished that. I never had those feelings. That's not my experience. I never had that experience. And they kept like trying to pull it out of me. And I'm like, no, I never had that experience. I never, like I said many times, I was raised in a 2-parent household. I was raised with people that looked like me. We had like one lighter sibling that in Miami, I'm from Miami, and we say red instead of light skin. She was red. That was like the lightest person in our family, but everybody else is like dark skin or brown skin, whatever. So I just never thought it was a problem. I mean, boys like me, and if they didn't, I never assumed it was because of my hair. I never even assumed it was because of me. I don't know, like, if it's the confidence that my mom had, the way she carried herself. Like, I come to my mom, oh, this person called you fat, or this person said, well, I am fat, or it ain't true, so why should it matter to you? Like, just having that example of a woman. And then like my older sister she's darker than me, and I thought she was like the prettiest thing ever, and all the guys liked her. She was like one of the most popular people at her school. She won so many awards, academics, athletic, everything. So I just never thought, like, I just never had any examples where black wasn't beautiful. Like, it was just always beautiful to me. My parents never really sat me down and try to instill anything in me, like, hey, you need to think like this or believe in yourself. Of course, my dad told me I was pretty a lot, but I don't know. Maybe it's my brain chemistry. I just never grew up envying anybody because of their skin tone, looks, or anything. But I know it's very much a real thing to people. And it wasn't until, I think when you leave the house, that's when you see the real world. Like, when I got older and you look back on some situations, you'll probably think like, oh, you know what? That guy that I had a crush on, he only dated light-skinned girls. Maybe that's why? I don't know. You'll probably go back and look at it and say, oh, maybe I wasn't their preference. And I still didn't take it personally.
All right, racist.
You not fab like that to be doing all of that. Learn your place, earn your spot.
So why are you mad at black Americans for being better? Your envy has turned into a hatred that literally makes no sense. You're burning inside with a bitter, choking realization that from the very beginning, the true indigenous people of this land have been and always will be better than you. And this isn't just white people. This is everyone that is not a copper-colored melanated person. You cast outward hate and jealousy towards the people who do not deserve this treatment. You shame them for violence and crime that is manufactured and faked in the media to propagandize superiority. The original people have have a capacity for a grace that your racist spirit cannot even comprehend. Look at the evidence. Black people could unleash a wrath on everyone, and they simply choose to be better. Their ancestors had the divine authority to ignore the filthy boat, also known as the USS Incest, packed full of savage colonizers. But they didn't do that. They were better than that. And the reward for being better? Cruelty, because you knew you could never be better at humanity. Your ancestors backstabbed the people that made it possible for any of us to be here. It's like your hatred burns hotter because you know that Black Americans' restraint is not a weakness. It is a proof of strength you do not possess. It's the clearest demonstration that the original people operate on a higher moral frequency. Racist America, you know this. You see Black brilliance in art and in music and in science and in culture. Industries you had to bar Black Americans from legally, just to give yourselves a head start. And you still lost. You hate Black people because their mere existence is a living, breathing report card on your own moral and spiritual failure. To admit that the original people are better would force you to confront the truth of your own profound lowness. It would also mean that the people that you have spent centuries trying to destroy are in fact your moral and spiritual superiors in every conceivable way. So you cling to your hatred. It's the only thing that keeps you up at night. It's the lie that you tell yourselves to avoid the shattering conclusion that the savages you invented in your head were a reflection in the mirror the whole time.
I want to talk about something that we often feel but rarely name. How skin tone shapes life even when we say we are equal. Have you ever had someone say you look better if your skin was lighter? Or seen how the lighter skinned person in your community seems to be treated just a little bit nicer? That's one phase of what's called colorism. Colorism is basically hate on skin tone and stereotype. In this video, we'll explore what colorism is, how it still shows up in 2025, what it does to us emotionally, socially, and spiritually, and how we can begin to heal from it together in love. If you care about identity, fairness, being made in God's image and likeness, then this one is for you. Let's get into it. Now, what is colorism? Colorism is the bias, the unfair favoring of lighter skin over darker skin. Within racial groups and between them. It's not just racism. It's when people of the same community treat others differently because of shades. I know also white people have felt the racism, black people have felt the racism, the Asians, the Chinese. Racism is literally everywhere, but now we're talking of colorism. It's someone being discriminated because of how they look or how darker their skin are or how lighter they are. When you look at my video of colorism in Philippines, you get some Philippines confessing how they were made to hate their skin and how Philippines has made being a little bit darker skin look like a bad compliment, and they're literally staying out of the sun so that they will not get dark. And now, for example, studies find that lighter skinned people of color have better job proposals and position, more schooling, and higher incomes. In schools, shows that darker skinned students may face more bias and lower expectations, even among families. Yeah, even among families, lighter skin sometimes get preference, mostly in Philippines. Yeah. So yes, this is something deep. It's built into history, actually social media has contributed the biggest part, and including our televisions and movies that we've been watching. It has contributed big time when it comes to colorism and racism, and also the society when they kind of believe that darker skin ain't good or preferable, but lighter is better. So, how it let's talk about how it actually shows up today. Here in Kenya, and across the world, we see it in ads and beauty products. There are still lots of skin lightening creams, as though dark skin needs changing. Globally, this market is huge, and when you get into the social media, you find that if you are dark, the dark skin ladies and gents are being talked bad to just because of their skin color, being told that they are ugly or something. Yeah, it's discrimination. It makes you hate your own skin color. Right? Nobody actually chose to be of that skin tone or a specific stereotype in how people treat each other. A lighter skinned neighbor might get more smiles, more assumed competence. A darker skinned person might quietly feel judged. Online or in social media, filters that like skin, images favoring fairly toned, and which silently tells a story of lighter equals good. And I know we've all experienced that. At work or school, research shows that darker skin correlates with lower outcomes, even controlling for other factors. Yeah, and think for a moment. What have you ever felt less visible, less valuable, or lighter skinned and treated differently? I want you to let that memory sit for a moment. Have you ever been treated better because you're light skin, or have you ever felt discriminated and disrespected because you're dark skin, or you are Asian from the side of Asia, or you are not of a specific stereotype? Yeah. Let's talk of why it has emotionally, socially, and spiritually. The damage is actually real. Emotionally, people with a darker skin often carry burdens of feeling not good enough, less beautiful, less wanted. Research shows skin tone bias links to lower self-esteem and mental health. In society, it divides group. When people in the same community treat each other differently by skin shade, trust breaks and unity weakens. Actually, when you look at South Africa, the society is actually used to divide groups. Even schools, you find where if you're light skin, you cannot go to school with a dark skin person. Actually, in South Africa, I think they have a lot of racism. They had, and maybe it's still there. Racism and colorism. Yeah, it's real. It's real when you go to that place. It is actually real. And spiritually, stroke identity-wise, if we believe that our worth is tied to shade, we miss the truth that our worth is in being made in God's image and likeness. We silently build a lie that one tone is superior to another. And actually, this is happening a lot in the social media. But me personally, I would feel like social media is what has actually contributed big time when it comes to racism and colorism, where even people of the same color are racist to each other, treat each other badly, and spreading some false information about people of certain colors, where you get in some countries people know that black people are aggressive, they're very violent, we fight a lot, we do not agree, we treat each other badly, and all that stuff. So when they get out there, they haven't interacted with us, but now you see what they've been seeing in the movies, what they've been shown from time to time. That's the knowledge they have, and now they get out there carrying us the same way they saw in the movies and in social media most of the time. And that has caused black to black hate, where you find black people fighting against each other, like the war between black Americans and Africans. Yeah. So the war's been there, depending on the skin tone, skin color, people saying negative things about each other. Well, I don't think we should use color to define each other. We should use the character, people, decisions, how you choose to carry the other person. That's what should be used to come for the togetherness and uniting of the people. Okay, now let's go to why colorism still exists. You might ask, why are we still dealing with this in 2025? A few reasons is one, history and colorism or colonization. Yeah, in many countries, lighter skin was linked to power, to being closer to the colonial class or to privilege. That legacy lingers mostly in the Philippines. Yeah, in the Philippines it happens a lot. Imagine Philippine people, the lighter skinned Philippine people are racist, and the colorism comes in between to their own Philippine people that are quite darker than them. And when they see that, they actually recommend the whitening bar soaps and lotions, those oil, so much as it's anything that promotes whiteness, they use it. Those people believe that white is better than black. So it's belief, history and colonialism, how black people used to work in the field and the whites used to stay at home. Yeah. Media and global beauty standards. The image we see often shows lighter skin models as ideal, which shapes how people see themselves. True, mostly in the movies. Yeah. Lack of awareness. Many of us don't name colorism when it happens. We may dismiss jokes or comments without seeing the pattern. Yeah, lack of awareness, true. And when something is silent, it thrives. Naming it breaks the power. People need to do research and not be ignorant because of what they know and what they've seen, and go out there knowing that these people are like this. People should do some research when it comes to the perspective that they've seen, they've been shown about people, even without interacting with them. You don't have to hate someone because you are shown hate, or you are taught hate, or you have interacted with any person of that stereotype or skin tone. The first thing I'm going to talk about healing and what we can do. All right. Now, the hopeful part. How do we turn this around? Start with yourself. Ask yourself, do I believe lighter skin is better? Or do I treat darker skin friends differently in my mind? The quiet work matters a lot. Yeah? Celebrate all tones. Share images, stories, voices, and beautiful dark-skinned people. Uplift them. Yeah, uplift them. And speak kindly in your family, stroke friends when skin shade comes up, even as a joke. Challenge it. Hey, that's a shady comment. Yeah, let's not go there. In your faith, remember that we are made in the image of God in every shade. The Bible says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. That's Psalms 139 verse 14. That means even skin tone, we have an even skin tone. Despite the outer color, we are the same from the inside, because we're fearfully and wonderfully made. We're all made from the image of God. What one moment when you or someone you know experience a comment or treated based on a skin tone? How did it make you feel? Drop that story in the comments. We'll read, learn, and support each other in this space. Before you go, if you found value in this video, hit like, subscribe, and share this video to someone that needs to hear this, because when we talk, we heal, and when we heal, we make room for peace. Thank you for watching. Remember, peace begins when we stop ranking beauty by shades and start honoring every person's dignity. I'll see you on the next video. God bless you.